Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. You know that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about? Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, July 15th. Is the summer going by as fast as I think it is? I don't know. Maybe it is. Who knows? But anyway, hey, this is On Air with Russell of Hotels. This show comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So it is Tuesday and it is 1 o'clock. So there you go. So this is the monologue section, so it gives me some time to kind of make sure things are working the way they're supposed to be working. I have everything on, so let me make sure I have my comments on. So feel free to make comments. We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. So if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do so. Take time right now. Stop whatever you're doing. Take time. Go to YouTube, or maybe you're on YouTube now, but make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the button. Bing. And anytime I go live or about to go live, you'll get some type of notification that Russell is going live. Go check out and see what he is doing. And that way you'll know, and you can forget, but then once you get the notification, like, oh my God, today is Tuesday, it is 1 o'clock, or whenever I do it, because I not only do On Air with Russell of Hotels, I do a daily check-in, which is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So this show lasts about an hour, maybe a little short of an hour, but this is only on Tuesdays, okay? This is show number 305, meaning I've done 305 of these shows. Now the daily check-in comes on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's 4 days. So guess what? You got like 5 days of me. You know, you think are you sick of me? Are people sick of me? I don't know. Some people like saying, you know what, I see you too much. You're on LinkedIn all the time. You're on YouTube. Oh my God, I can't go on it. Well, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about being strategic and letting people know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. That's what it's all about. It's all about that brand awareness. And if you don't do it, then people don't know that you exist or what you do or whatever happened to that Russell Edmond guy. Is he still around? You know, he used to be a hotel GM and DOS and all this and that. Well, where is he now? Well, I'm doing this now. Okay, so no, I'm I'm not only doing this, but it's all about creating brand awareness for hotel CVBs. And just remember, I will never, or anything hospitality. So just remember this. I will never do one of these shows On Air with Russell of Hotels or the daily check-in without showcasing a hotel, okay? So today happens to be in fact, we don't even know what this hotel is, do we? It is let's see, let me switch scenes. See, Marina del Rey Hotel, right? So I was on the wrong thing. I forgot to change that, but that's okay. You know, that's what it's all about, right? It's Hollywood. We just keep going, right? But no, this is the Marina del Rey Hotel. Guess where it's located? Marina del Rey. Hello. So Marina del Rey is outside of Los Angeles. It's a beachy city, beachy destination. So it's probably within 15 minutes of where I live. So I go and hang out, you know, here just because it's close, 15 minutes away. And this is what it looks like, right? You know, was kind of overcast a little earlier today, but this is it. So I'm not going to show anything. Well, I think I am showing one thing inside, but I think the bar. But the beauty is outside. You know, those are boat slips. The marina is right there. You know, beyond that is the Pacific Ocean, just in case you didn't know that, you know, California is on the Pacific Ocean. So, in fact, you see some guy right there walking from his boat over there. So it's kind of cool, right? Isn't that kind of cool? So anyway, so yeah, I'll always showcase a hotel because that's why they call me Russell of Hotels. If I was, you know, at home all the time and doing nothing, then I'll be just Russell at home. You know what I mean? Well, no, you can't beat that. So no, Russell of Hotels. So I'm always going to showcase a hotel, a destination, or anything hospitality, maybe even a restaurant. You know, I don't think I've ever done a restaurant before. But, you know, maybe the restaurant has not reached out to me and said, hey, can you post my hotel, my restaurant and my fabulous food? I do vegan dishes. No one's done that. So there you go. The invitation is open. If you know any restaurants or you're interested in, you know, having, you know, something showcased on this show, because I do this 5 days a week. I'm doing something 5 days a week On Air with Russell of Hotels every Tuesday, the daily check-in with Russell of Hotels Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So that's 5 days a week, okay? So once again, this is the monologue, so I just want to make sure everything is up and running. I think so. Hopefully the sound is good. I've been messing with the sound because when I had people come on, there was an echo when they spoke. And I'm like, well, what the heck is that echo? Why is that happening now? So what I found out, well, I knew I was doing this or not doing this, but I didn't think it was affecting, the other side, meaning the people that I have come on. So I have the roadcaster, right? My partner in crime, the roadcaster is how, I get my music and all that kind of stuff, right? So everything goes through there. Well, I wasn't using that for a while. So when I had people come on, for whatever reason, it was creating this kind of an echo sound. So yesterday, I said, let me just go back to the roadcaster just to rule this out. Because I didn't think it was my equipment. I thought it was them. Well, I had, what's her name? Miss Tiffany. Tiffany comes on with me on Tuesdays for the daily check-in. So I did the roadcaster, and guess what? After the recording, after it was over, I went back and listened to it, and there was no echo. Only because it was all going through, the sound was going through the roadcaster. So there you go. So it was my fault. So I apologize. So anyway, so no echo, shouldn't be any echo today. Anyway, well, I don't see anyone making comments, so that's okay. Anyway, we're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. So we're about to do the intro, and then I'll get back with the show. Got a good topic for the day. And just know that my topics will always be on my blog. You can just go russellofhotels.com and go to the blog section, hit that button, ding, and then you'll see the topic. Whatever that first topic is, that's going to be the topic I'm talking about today. So there you go, just a little inside information. So anyway, I'm going to put you on hold for a second, and we're going to do the intro, and I'll be right back. Hey, once again, Russell of Hotels, going live for that show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. This show comes on every Tuesday at 1 o'clock p.m. PST. That means here in California. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I said that already. Today is show number 305. Yes, I've done 305 of these shows. You know what? Shout out to Mr. Amani Roberts, because he does a podcast too, and he just completed his over 200 show. So he's completed his 200th show, I think this week or maybe it was last week. So congratulations to him. He's one of the people that kind of got me started in this social media thing years ago. And I always want to give him, you always want to give credit where credit is due. And he's one of the people that, sign up for Twitter, do this, do that, stand on one leg, jump up and down. He's the one that got me started on this whole social media thing. So once again, shout out to him. So anything he's doing, I'm going to make sure I promote it as well. So Amani Roberts, check him out. Amani Roberts, he does a podcast as well. He's all about music. He's from the hospitality industry too. Well, I guess music can be, does it transcend to the hospitality industry? Probably so somehow. But yeah, so if you don't know Amani Roberts, make sure you follow him on all the social media platforms. If that's YouTube, if that's Facebook, IG, TikTok, all those things, make sure you follow him, because he's a dear friend of mine. And like I said, he celebrating his 200th episode of a podcast. And just FYI for everyone out there, the average length of a podcast is 6 episodes. Okay, so for anyone to get past 6 episodes, that's a huge accomplishment, let alone 200 or 300 and beyond. So there you go. So you always give credit. You always want to woo, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I don't know where that came from, but anyway, the comments are open, so feel free to make your comments. And once again, this is the Marina del Rey Hotel, located in, you guessed it, Marina del Rey. So just in case you did not know, so this is all of it is outside, but this is a different part of outside, of course, right? So you can still see the boat slips and, palm trees. Anytime you see palm trees, that's got to be Southern California, right? It never rains in Southern California. So anyway, top 50 podcasts, just in case you did not know. You always want to make sure you educate people because not everybody listens to the show or watches the show. And, I have to understand that not everybody knows who I am or knows that the International Hospitality Institute gave this distinction to being a top 50 podcast in hospitality for 2025. It's a top 50, right? So I'm one of the 50, right? So there's 49 other people, right? So I'm just one of them. So shout out to all those people. So I just want to make sure people know that. You always have to toot your horn, right? I always tell people you always have to be the biggest advocate. You got to be the one shaking the pom-pom, whatever you need to do to get people's attention, let people know. I mean, I have this show. This is great. This is a great platform, but that doesn't mean everyone knows that what you do, right? They don't know that you exist. They don't know that you do a podcast. Well, that's my job to make sure people know, right? So, and it's my job to let people know that out of there's 50, well, I guess there's probably more hospitality podcasts out there, but I'm one of the top 50 for 2025. So there you go. You have to let people know that, right? They may not have known. So how else they going to know? There you go. So that's why you got to, like I said, you have to be your biggest advocate, right? So yeah, I happen to have a platform where I can do that. I ain't worried about how everybody else gets it out, but I'm worried about me, right? So there you go. So toot your own horn, okay? Although I'm a toot Pablo Torres as well as Paula C too, because I've been on their show, they've been on my show before. So I appreciate them. And once again, congratulations to them because I happen to personally know those people. So there you go. So there you go. Let's move on. Once again, another photo of the Marina del Rey Hotel. And this show's not going to go that long today. See how I'm going from scene to scene. So every scene that I change, it's damn near a different topic, right? I'm talking about something else. That means it's getting closer to the end. And how many scenes do I have? Someone asked, well, how many scenes do you go through? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 10 scenes, okay? So it's 10 scenes that I go through. I never even counted those before. I didn't realize it was 10. I thought it was more than that. But anyway, 10 scenes. So this is their bar, right? So yeah, and of course I was there. I go places sometimes they're not even open. I'm there before, it's probably about in the morning, 9 to 10 o'clock, or maybe the bar opens at 11 or something like that. So I'm there a little early. So that's why sometimes you don't see people in my videos or my photos because I'm there before anybody gets there, right? So, and sometimes people, they kind of don't like, some people like, you taking pictures of, what are you doing the pictures for? What's going on? You're invading my privacy. Well, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just, this is for a blog post. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, just, so that's why I do a lot of photos with no one in them. So there you go. But anyway, this is the bar at Marina del Rey Hotel. Okay. So in the blog, anytime I do a topic, anytime I do, a show with a topic, the topics are always going to be on the blog. And any other information, if I go to a new hotel that I haven't been to before, I'm always going to do not necessarily a review, but I'm going to take photos, I'm going to take videos, I'm going to talk a little bit about it, and that's going to be on the blog as well. So you can feel free to do that, check out the blog, or just feel free to go to my website in general and see what's on there. Check that out too. So go russellofhotels.com, and the blog is there. Hit the blog button, bing, and it'll all come to you. And like, oh my God, he's right. There is a lot of information here. There's wealth of information. There's topics galore. I mean, he talks about everything, and I do try to talk about everything. And a lot of times that I talk, like today's topic, we'll get to in a second, was based on a conversation that I was having yesterday. Okay, and I'm not going to tell who the person was or what hotel it was, but we'll get into that. But anyway, the blog, all the information is there. So when I go to the topic, you don't have to write notes. You don't have to take anything down. Just go to the blog, russellofhotels.com, go to the blog. All the information is there. So you'll see it. You don't have to commit it to memory, if you will. Okay. So there you go. So the topic for today is how a CVB, which stands for Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is the kind of the tourism arm for that city or destination. Like every city, almost every city, I was going to say every major city. Well, every major city has a CVB, but there's a lot of smaller cities, towns, or whatever that have a CVB, or they may call it a DMO, Destination Marketing Organization. They may call it different things, tourism board. It could be part of the Chamber of Commerce, but they're basically responsible for getting tourism into that particular destination or city. Like say Los Angeles, let's just use LA as an example. Well, Los Angeles, LA has a CVB, Convention and Visitors Bureau. It's called, what is it called? Los Angeles, is it called Los Angeles Taking Care of Business Convention and Tourism Board? I can't think of it. It's something like that. Anyway, it's a tourism board. So I don't know why I can't think of it, but it'll come to me in a minute. But so every major city has it. Long Beach has it. Santa Ana has one. San Diego, Oxnard, all these places have them. Pasadena has a big one, or has one. Ontario has one. So, and these are ones in Southern California. Palm Springs. So a lot of cities and destinations have CVBs, right? So the question for the day is, I had to give the background before I can get into the question, right? I know people out there like, I already know what that means. Well, guess what? There's a lot of people that don't. People in the back don't know this. So anyway, how a CVB should use social media after a negative incident. Now, we all know, well, maybe you don't know, LA's been going through some stuff, right? So just start with the fires, which were in January. The fires, and everyone thought that and all of LA was on fire. Well, that was not the case, right? But sometimes the media will spin it in a different direction, okay? And if you don't know, you don't know. So for the people like on the East Coast, I had people from Atlanta, they're calling me like, hey, what's going on there? You guys okay? I'm like, well, yeah, I have friends that are affected by this, but no, we're far away from there or not close to it. Maybe you can, like the ones in Palisades, I can see the smoke. We can see the smoke in certain points because we kind of live on a hill or whatever, or the neighborhood's kind of on a hill where you can see some of the flames. Depending on where you were, you could see the flames. But they were far enough away that it was not going to affect our area. But, of course, the air quality was bad for days, if not weeks, right? So we did get that kind of residual impact, but no devastation over here. And shout out to the people that now are rebuilding and things like that. But all of LA was not affected. So there's no flights that were canceled. There, downtown wasn't affected. So there's a lot of places that were not affected, but you let the whole rest of the world think that it was affected. Like, oh my God, LA is done. No one's going back there ever again, and all this kind of stuff. Well, my thing is, we need to change the narrative, right? So I just happened to be having a conversation yesterday about, now that was just the fires. Now, just more recently, there's been ice raids downtown. And of course, that led to some protests. And of course, peaceful protests that I know, because guess what? I live in Los Angeles and I see what's going on. Peaceful protests, now all of a sudden on the news, it's like out of control. Now we got to have National Guard and all this kind of stuff there, which was not necessary because that's not what was going on. But that's the narrative on TV. Sometimes we have to change the narrative, especially when it comes to tourism, because a lot of cities and destinations, they thrive on tourism dollars, okay? So you have to change the narrative. You have to change things or let people know that, yeah, this did happen, but this is what's going on now, okay? It's not saying that well, it never happened. No, we're not saying it didn't happen. We're saying it did, but it didn't. It only affected this area for 2 hours or whatever the heck it may be, and we have to do those things, right? Well, sometimes we do it. Sometimes we do a good job of that. Sometimes we don't. And the person that I happened to have a conversation with was let's just say a stakeholder downtown. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. This person and this person's property is a stakeholder in Los Angeles downtown. So I just asked, well, what's going on to change the narrative down there? Because he said the hotels weren't busy downtown because of the recent things that are going on, and there's not a lot of citywide conventions going on in LA either. I'm like, okay, but what has the CVB done? Have they come out and said anything? Well, and I'm just going off of what I'm told, right? It wasn't happening. Okay, so of course, that just makes me start thinking, right? Like, that's a good topic, right? And I don't know if the CVB is doing or not, right? But what I'm saying is these are things that they should do when on a social media. Like I said, you have to change the narrative. The narrative is what people are saying on TV. But is that true? Yeah, some of the stuff did happen. And okay, so you own up to the stuff that did happen, okay? But what's going on now? Is it a place to come back to? Is it a place that I want to stay away from it? No, it's not. Because I've been going downtown for the last I'll be down there again today. I'm going to the Sparks game, right? I was there on Sunday. I was there last week as well. So I've been to a Sparks game, which is downtown at the Crypto Arena, which is smack downtown, 3 days in the last 7 days, okay? And it's nothing, and it's just people going have a good time. So downtown is open. Downtown is cranking like it always is. There's nothing major going on in Los Angeles other than there's just not a lot of business down there. And that's probably because there's no groups, things like that. I mean, there's groups that are coming up. I think PCMA is coming up in a couple of months, but I'm not sure anything else is coming up. But what I'm saying is, sometimes when people see these things, like a big incident that happened, and that just says, you know what, all of LA, I'm not going there, right? Well, LA, one thing about Los Angeles is separating the different areas. You got the beach areas, you got like Santa Monica, but then you have Hermosa, Redondo, Manhattan Beach. Then, like I said, you have the Santa Monica, you have Venice, you have downtown, you have the Valley, you have Hollywood area. You have all these different areas. You have the Inland Empire. You have all these different areas, and they're all separated, right? They're not all in the same place. So just because one is affected does not mean everything else is affected. You got Pasadena. You have all these places that are part of LA County, but not part of LA City, if that makes any sense at all. So anyway, so let me just, how CVBs, and this is not just for CVBs that are in Los Angeles. I just happen to talk about that because that's the conversation I had yesterday. But I'm talking CVBs in general. If something happens, we got to get in front of it, okay? And me being, on social media a lot, this is how I get my message across as far as Russell Hotels is concerned. How CVB should use social media after a negative incident. Number one, okay, I said all that to say this: be timely, transparent, and reassuring. Acknowledge the incident early, okay? Acknowledge that it happened. Get in front of it. Don't let the media or others control the story, because they'll spin it the way they want to spin it. I mean, the media is there to what? We love the media. Oh my God, yeah, we do. But the media is there to sell, whatever. They want people to watch. They want viewership. They want all that, all right? They want to sell newspaper, whatever they want to sell, whatever their, whatever media it is. If it's TV, if it's, internet, if it's, publications, whatever, their job is to sell that story, that juicy story to people, okay? So be timely, transparent, and reassuring. Don't let the media or others control the story. Share factual updates. This was an isolated incident. If it's an isolated incident, then okay, let people know that. No hotels or visitor areas were affected. Let people know that. Downtown is still open. LAX is still open. There's flights still coming in. Those are things we have to do. Show leadership presence. Post a brief video message from your CEO or trusted community leader. Now, I know when it's a political position, we're kind of hesitant to do things like that. But, you still want to get paid for your job, right? Sometimes we have to do those things, okay? Sometimes we have to like, hey, this is the narrative. This is what's going on. We know for a fact that downtown is open. Let's show this. Let's show that. Let's talk about it, whatever it is. Let's talk to people on the street. Like, hey, I see you're downtown shopping. You have any problems? No, everything's great. Oh yeah, no, it's open and whatever the heck it is. I'm giving examples, right? So those are the things that we have to do though. Sometimes we don't get on top of things. We just let things, let's let it just play it out. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes it takes too long to play out. And sometimes you let that negative message continue to fester. Just like a fire, you let it fester. Next thing you know, boom, it's a raging thing, right? You got to put it out. And how you put it out is you got to come out and start talking about it. There you go. I mean, what else can I say? Number 2, post real-time positive content. Flood the feed with positive real-time content. Use Instagram stories, LinkedIn, Facebook to show visitors safely enjoying restaurants, hotels, events, locals welcoming guests, live shots of downtown operating as normal. Whatever the heck it is, you need to show those things. Use hashtag like still open, LA is open for business, experience safely, whatever the heck it is, those are hashtags, right? So make sure you're using hashtags and things like that. Because all that stuff matters, especially when you're using social media. Number 3, engage, don't just broadcast. Respond to comments and DMs. People slide into your DMs. Respond to those things with calm, informative replies. Don't get all upset. Yes, that issue did happen, but it has been corrected. As you can see, there's photos of people real time. I just took this like 20 minutes ago. People are having a good time. There's nothing going on. There's no incidents going on. There was a demonstration down here. It was a peaceful demonstration, but it's now over, and now we moved on with life, okay? Because people get hesitant to come to your destination. They just do. Like, I'm not coming there now. I'll go somewhere else. Well, that equals dollars. That's called tourism dollars. And hotels need that to survive, okay? So that's what it's all about. So I'm coming from the angle of that, right? Hotels are there to make money, and that affects a lot of people's pocketbooks, not just the owner of the hotel. That means it cuts back on hours because there's not enough business, okay? That means people are staying home instead of coming to work. They're not making money. They can't make their bills. You get where I'm coming from, right? So let's just make sure we get on top of these things, because these things happen. They have happened, and they will happen again, right? So it's not the first and last time this stuff is going to happen, but we need to know how to get on top of it, right? I don't see anyone, coming on saying that we need to do certain things like this, right? So, like I said, I'm having these conversations. I get a lot of stuff that I talk, a lot of the content that I post that I'm talking about, it's from having conversations with people within the industry. I'm not making this stuff up, right? I don't work down there, okay? I go down there occasionally because I do, have groups in some of the hotels downtown on occasion. So I'm coming down there, I'm meeting with salespeople or whoever, GMs or whatever, or my clients to, give them a tour of the hotels downtown or wherever destination happens to be. So I'll know firsthand. So there you go. But yeah, just conversations, you'll be amazed at some of the conversations I have with people. But anyway, so once again, engage, don't just broadcast. Respond to comments, to DMs with calm, informative replies. Share and repost content from local partners, influencers, and happy visitors. This is a good time to get the influencers involved, right? If they do travel, they're like, oh, they always do, they're influencers for travel in Los Angeles. Okay, maybe reach out to them and say, hey, can you come down here, take some photos, and in real time so your viewers can see that or the followers can see that, and then they repost things to everyone else, right? So that's how things get out these days, right? So you can control the narrative because we have that access now. We have the capability of creating a positive narrative, that will combat the negative narrative, right? So those are the things that we need to do. So there you go. That's, what? That was a good one, right? Was that a good one? I think it was. let's see, what else do I have? What else do I have? No, I think that's about it. So yeah, so let's just make sure that we're doing that. We're staying on top of those things. Once again, be timely, transparent, and reassuring. Number 2, post real-time, positive content. Number 3, engage, don't just broadcast. So just remember that, and remember all this stuff in great detail is on my blog. So just go to russellofhotels.com and just go to the blog section, hit the button, bing, and all these things will be there, as well as all the detailed information I just said. So there you go. Who's hiring? Now these jobs, in the greater Los Angeles area, okay, sorry for the people in New York. These are not jobs in New York. These are only jobs here in the greater Los Angeles area, okay? So the Waverly Hotel, and I don't even know what the Waverly Hotel is, but is it downtown? I think it may be downtown. So anyway, the Waverly Hotel in LA, they're looking for a director of sales. And all these jobs can be on or will be or are on Indeed. So just go Indeed.com. They're all there. Waverly Hotel, they're looking for a director of sales. Hilton Glendale, they're looking for a senior sales manager. Glendale is a suburb of Los Angeles, probably about from downtown, maybe 15 minutes northeast of downtown, I guess. The Hilton Garden Inn LAX, they're looking for a director of sales. Now that hotel, that's new. It was not a new build, it was a conversion. So this one used to be, if anyone's been on Century Boulevard going towards the airport, say you turn on, La Cienega, you turn off of La Cienega or you cross over La Cienega going towards the airport, so that would be going west. And on the right side, there's a Quality Inn hotel. Well, the Quality Inn is no longer there because it's been rebranded as a Hilton Garden Inn. So there you go. So if you're a Hilton Garden person and you're looking for one at the airport, well, now you have one. So Hilton Garden Inn LAX right there on Century Boulevard, they're looking for a director of sales. So there you go. So you got 2 pieces of information. I told you they're looking for a director of sales, and that hotel used to be formerly a Quality Inn, has been converted into a Hilton Garden Inn. See, that's why I'm Russell of Hotels, right? I can give that kind of information. So I just happened to be driving by the other day. I mean, literally, it was like a week ago. I was driving by and saw like, oh my God, that used to be the Quality. Anyway, Hilton Universal, they're looking for an assistant director of sales. Now that's next to the Sheraton, which is right next to Universal Studios. So for people that don't know this, Universal Studios sits on the hill in Universal City, right? And there's 2 hotels below there. The Hilton is one and the Sheraton is the other. And the Sheraton, yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, you're right. People in the back, I used to be the director of sales and marketing at the Sheraton back in the day. So I know that hotel very well. I know the Sheraton as well as the Hilton Universal as well as the Universal Studios. So there you go. But yeah, Hilton Universal, looking for an assistant director of sales. Marriott International in Los Angeles, they're looking for an account director for transient sales. Transient means single rooms. So if that's like, it can be companies in the area. So, your job is to get those ones and twosies, single rooms up to 10 rooms. 10 rooms is considered a group. So you're responsible for getting, rooms from companies that in the single people, transient people traveling on their own, not with a group. So basically that's what that means. So it can be, like I said, it can be companies, organizations, whatever, but they're just ones and twosies, 5Zs and 9Zs, but no 10Zs, okay? Because 10Zs and up are considered groups. And that's not a term, a hotel term, that's just a Russell Hotels term, 10Zs. I just made that up. I just make stuff up on the fly, just in case you didn't know. But anyway, there you go. So those are jobs. Once again, look on Indeed.com, and that's where I got those from. Remember, this show On Air with Russell of Hotels is every Tuesday at 1 o'clock PST. That means here in California, it's 1 o'clock. In New York, it'll be 4 o'clock, okay? There you go. Consistency, I always put this one up here, consistency times 4, okay? Or times 2 is, yeah, whatever. But yeah, so you cannot do and we're almost done here. You cannot do 305 episodes of anything without being consistent. Okay, so one thing I do pride myself on is being consistent and delivering what I say I'm going to deliver. If I say I'm going to do something 5 days a week, well, damn it, I'm going to do it 5 days a week. So this show's been going since 2007. I only took off, I want to say maybe 3 weeks because I was traveling and I didn't know how to do it remote at that time. But I figured it out. So I'll never go like 4 weeks without doing it again unless there's something wrong with me, right? Something happened, now that's something else, right? But no, I've never gone that long again or since without doing the show. So every Tuesday, 1 o'clock on air with Russell of Hotels will be on. Daily check-in, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So like I said a little while ago, I do 5 days a week of me. And why is that consistency important? Because hotels will ask me to post things about their hotel on my, talk about it on this show or on the daily check-in. Now, if I wasn't consistent, they wouldn't ask me to do that. So it's all about consistency, because when you're trying to promote something, you want to make sure the person or the company, organization that you're posting, that's in charge of your posting, is being consistent. They deliver what they say they're going to do. If they say they're going to post, I'm going to post it 5 days a week, well, what are you going to be looking for? You're looking for it 5 days a week, right? Well, you can go and look in the archives and see that Russell of Hotels posts things 5 days a week. That's just it, right? So for anyone else that wants to come in and say, hey, you know what? I see that you do these things, you post these hotels and blah, blah, blah. I like to be part of that because they see the consistency, right? That's what it's all about. You want consistency in your promotions, in your advertising, just like you want consistency in, your service to your guests or your clients. It's the same thing, because people only come back because you're consistent. Why do people go to McDonald's all the time? It ain't because the food is good. You can get a better burger somewhere else. But guess what? You're going to get the same thing, the same quality, the same service for the most part at every McDonald's damn near in the world, right? The fries that you get here in Los Angeles are going to be the same ones in Blythe, okay? It's the same ones, okay? So it's all about consistency with McDonald's. Same thing with me. If you want to see hotels, you want me to showcase hotels, come to Russell of Hotels, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to showcase hotels. If I was, if I'm Russell of the house or the living room, then I'll be showing living rooms, right? But I'm not that. I'm Russell of Hotels, so I show hotels. So there you go. So yeah, so that's why I put that up there, because it's all about consistency. That's one thing. No one could out consistent me, out consistency me. No one can. No one's gonna outwork me on this darn thing called a podcast, because it's all about being consistent. I'm sure there's some consistent podcasts out there. That's fine. That's on them, right? Not that I'm competing against them on the consistency, but I'm letting you know that no one can outwork me on that, okay? I'm just saying it like it is. There you go. So be consistent, and this goes for anyone. This goes for promoting your hotel, your restaurant, your CVB, whatever it is. It's all about consistency. It's all about visibility. See, I haven't even got into visibility part, but it's all about visibility. So the consistency leads to visibility, okay? So any questions at all, so like I said, we're almost done here. Any questions at all, go russellofhotels.com. That is my email. I respond to that most all the time. I try to do it within an hour. If not, then, probably sooner than that. But no, any questions at all, feel free to reach out. russell@russellofhotels.com. No question is silly or dumb or whatever. Just send it out. Or just go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there. You can call me. Email's there as well. And you can just find information about me on the website. There's no hidden agenda here. There's nothing that I'm hiding. All the stuff I talk about is on the website. How I started, who I am, all that kind of stuff is all there. So, like I said, don't think that I'm hiding something. It's all there because I'm an open book. I'm an open book. So remember this, okay? So there's a couple things I want you to remember. Where are we on time here? We're not even at 40 minutes yet. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Consistency. Trying to get done within an hour, okay? Now, this easily can go long. I know, don't get me wrong. I can do over an hour, but no. It has to be natural, though. It has to be natural. So I'm not going to push any other agenda. So just remember this. You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. So it's strategy that I do this show on air with Russell of Hotels. It's strategy that I do the daily check-in because it's all about visibility, letting people know that this brand is around and what this brand does. It's all about creating that brand awareness. Just like how many people knew that there was a Marina del Rey Hotel? Some people did, some people don't. Okay, so my job is to create that awareness for my brand as well as a hotel brand that I happen to experience. And remember, no hotel will be shown on here that I have not experienced, right? If I haven't experienced it, it won't be here. So know for a fact that I've been to this hotel, I've stayed at this hotel, I've dined in this hotel, I've sat outside with my coffee or tea or whatever at this hotel as well. So, because that's what it's all about, right? So you got to be consistent. When I talk about consistency, that's part of it as well. So, and you got to have integrity, right? So I'm not going to show anything that I haven't been to because you got to create, you have to have some type of integrity because believe me, I get emails and phone calls with people saying, hey, I'm going to send you a picture of my hotel. I want you to talk about it on your show. I'm like, in what world do you think I'm going to do that? Have I been there? I said, I don't think I've been there. Well, no, you probably haven't been there, but, you know, can you go ahead and show it anyway? No, I can't. No, I can't. I can't and I won't. Because like I said, it's about integrity, and I'm never going to show anything that I never experienced, okay? Never. So what is it? There's one more thing I was going to talk about. Visibility. Visibility. So one, okay, you can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy, and I just explained that, right? Visibility leads to brand awareness. Brand awareness leads to brand excitement, and brand excitement leads to bookings. Okay, so remember that, right? You want to get people excited about your brand, right? But they can only be excited if they know about it. So you have to create that awareness. You have to, you know, post things about your hotel. You have to, you know, have people, you know, talk about your hotel. Whatever it is, you need to make sure you do that. Creating that brand awareness, because contrary to popular belief, and I say this a lot, people think everyone knows their hotel exists. I guarantee you the people here at the Marina del Rey Hotel thinks everyone knows that their hotel exists. They don't. What about the people on the East Coast? What about people in the next town? They may not know Marina del Rey Hotel. I know there's a Marina del Rey, but I didn't know there was a hotel called the Marina del Rey Hotel. They don't know unless you tell them and unless they see it, right? I have a friend that just started in Santa Monica. She's going to be, I think, the director of sales there. The hotel is called the Ambrose Hotel in Santa Monica. I never heard of it. I had never heard of it until she told me, right? So I looked it up like, oh my God, why do I not know about this hotel? So contrary to popular belief, this was just yesterday. Everyone does not know everyone's hotel exists. So check out the Ambrose Hotel, Ambrose. It's in Santa Monica. Great little hotel, 74 rooms, 75 rooms, something like that. Great hotel, but I didn't know about it. So just like I'm mentioning the Marina del Rey Hotel, people may not know about that either. But just my job is to create that brand awareness for people, okay? So that gets back to that consistency. So there you go. So once again, I'm going to read this one more time, and I'm going to let you go. You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy. Visibility leads to brand awareness. Brand awareness leads to brand excitement, and brand excitement leads to bookings. Bookings equal, you know, dollars and cents, revenue. However you want to break it down, that's what it breaks down to. So anyway, that is it. I'm Russell of Hotels. This was On Air with Russell of Hotels, that live hospitality talk show that everyone's talking about. Remember these things don't go away, right? Once the production is done, the live portion, it will be on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, right? So if you didn't catch the live, that's okay. The replay will be on LinkedIn, YouTube, and on Facebook. Okay, so there you go. That's it. Any questions at all, feel free to reach out to me, russell@russellofhotels.com, or just go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there. I'm not going to put my phone number here. I'm not going to flash it on the screen. But if you want to go to my website, you got to work for it, right? You got to work for it. Just go to my website, russellofhotels.com, and the phone number is there. It's just plastered everywhere. Pick up the phone and call, but leave a message, because if your number is not in my phone, I'm not going to just pick it up and like, oh, hello? No, because I get spammed a lot, just like everybody else, right? So just leave a message, who you are, and I'll call you right back. That's it. You guys have a great day. Happy Tuesday. And I'll see you tomorrow, because remember, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is a daily check-in. Every Tuesday is On Air with Russell of Hotels. So until tomorrow, have a great day, and we'll see you soon. And as always, peace.